Have you ever experienced a moment where your whole reality was shifted? Girl, that was me on my spiritual awakening in 2020. There was a lot to my spiritual awakening and that whole journey, but one of the main things was intuition and my body and my inner voice telling me one thing, but having people that I look up to and people that I loved telling me another. When I tell you my intuition was intuitioning, okay? Anxiety would come up whenever I would try to latch on to what another person was saying. And that was my body, that was my intuition, that was God telling me, no, bitch, listen to your body, listen to yourself. I was conflicted and I was going through this, who am I? What is God? What is the universe? What is this? My circle was already small and it got even smaller. So I'm seeking guidance, I'm doing all the things, I'm receiving readings, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And I'm getting this niggle to go back home, right? And during that time, I'm like, why the fuck do I want to go back home with my parents? The message was so clear, and Spirit had told me to heal the root of your trauma. In this time, I didn't necessarily know about spiritual gifts, and I was, seeking guidance, and I feel like the guidance that I was seeking, they weren't necessarily, helpful, and I had to teach myself everything, and I came down to the conclusion of one of my trigger responses back then was flight, right? And Spirit was like, girl, like, you need to go back to the root and you need to, go on and like face your trauma and let's see why you are the way that you are. It's my little shadow work journey. All these messages from Spirit, and Spirit's literally telling me, girl, go, just go. And the Virgo in me is just like, I need a reason, right? An actual physical reason. And there's just something in me like, no, Cynthia, go, 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 go. And finally, I just said, fuck it. And I went back home. Took that leap of faith and I surrendered. And I said, listen, everything around me is telling me, no, Cynthia, you need help, seek help, but there's something within me, and I followed that something within me, and I was like, and I went back, and when I tell you, that's when the real healing started, okay? Because once you separate yourself from the trauma and you set your boundaries, great, but you spend X amount of time away, at some point, how you really know you've healed is when you go back. How are you gonna react? How did Cynthia react? That was the beginning of my spiritual journey. I had to sit with myself and I had to sit with every part of Cynthia. I had to sit with inner child Cynthia that was boohoo crying. I had to sit with the raging teenage bitch that came up around my family. I had to deal with her. I had to tame her. I have done so much healing since. The most scariest but best decision that I have ever done was going back home and facing my trauma head on. It has made me a better mother. It's made me just a better Cynthia. I am not the same person I was 5 years ago. That was the start of my healing journey, and taking that leap of faith opened so many doors. The amount of people that I've met, the amount of opportunities that I've gotten, and everything feels so much more aligned, and I'm going through life just so intuitively.